So last week I got in a brand new release by Paul Gaultier from France, and that was L'HOMME Elixir. And when they sent me that, they also sent me a brand new release from News Parfums in a decant, one that I saw. I wasn't planning on picking up, as the original, I smelled it a long time ago, and I remember it just being vintage, which is not my style, so I wasn't planning on picking it up. But then on my live stream, I ended up testing this out one time and decided that I wanted to do a first impression and full review on it. So today we're going to be talking about a brand new release, as well as this is going to be one of the last times you guys see me out here, as I'll be back in my normal setup because my renovations are just about done. And so today we're going to be talking about a new release by Guerlain. This is Habit Rouge Prive. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright, my great smelling dudes, welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. So again, we have a brand new release in the men's fragrance community, 2023. And I wasn't expecting to get it, but as you guys know, News Parfums is a French website where I got my L'HOMME Elixir. Anytime you get a new release, if there are any other new releases out, they usually send you those decants as well. So they sent me this one, as well as Chrome Parfum and Lhomme Ideal Parfum, or Lhomme Ideal Platine Prive. But the Platine Prive didn't have a decant inside the sample card, so it is what it is. One of my subscribers said he's going to send that to me anyway. So today, before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you guys can, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FragranceDoud. So again, we're going to be talking today about one that my subscriber told me you don't pronounce the H or the T, so I'm going to go by that. This is Habit Rouge Prive. So it's not Habit, it's Abby, or Abby Rouge Prive. So the inside of the sample card has the decant, and then this is what the bottle looks like. Guerlain is kind of repackaging all of their bottles from all of their lines to look uniform. So no matter what line, if it's the Lhomme Ideal or the Habit Rouge line or Habit Rouge line, they're all going to be these square bottles with a different color. This one looks really cool, almost like a midnight red. Really cool looking bottle. I tried this out on my live on a tester strip, one spray, and for the opening 2 seconds, I knew that it was a little bit alcohol-y. But after those like 2-3 seconds, it really gets into where it's trying to be, I should say. So I've sprayed that on my wrist here. I do have it on my other hand right now, so I can give you guys a feel of the dry down without breaking in the action. So yeah, I mean, I gave it 2 seconds and it's back into where it should be. So the original Habit Rouge, if I remember correctly, was just vintage. I don't remember much about it. I tried it a long time ago. I don't remember really anything about it. But I can just tell you about this one. I don't do the notes in my first impressions, but as soon as you spray this on, it's almost like you're walking into a soap shop. Someone who sells like bars of soap that are cut. And you find a bar of soap that is like lemon or some type of citrus. It smells just like that, because in the opening, you do get that vintage barbershoppy vibe with a slight nuance of modern quality. And so when you first spray it on, you get a lot of ginger, providing this soapy, sudsy feeling, mixed with a bergamot lemon style mixture. So put that together, what do you have? You have something like what I said, like a barbershop. And it's really nice. You also do get a little bit of leather. The leather isn't too prominent in this. Whenever you first spray it on in that opening like 2 seconds, you can sense a real good amount of leather, but it really fades very quickly. And then you have more of that soapy, sudsy lemon bergamot mixture mixed with a little bit of a powderiness and then a little bit of leather. The leather isn't too prominent. The powderiness isn't too prominent. It has a little bit of a sweetness undertone, but for the most part, so I don't have to confuse you, it does have that vintage barbershoppy vibe, but with the quality, it is a little bit more modern, where you have, again, this ginger citrus mixture with a little bit of a leather and powder undertone. That is the opening of the fragrance for probably the first, I'd say, 45 minutes. So yeah, that's the opening. It's really nice. I think it's really nice if you like those style of fragrances. It's not one that my wife really enjoys. She said it smells good, but she said it smells like it's from like the 1980s, 1990s, which I can kind of see with that. Yeah, I definitely can. So now into the dry down. So this is at about an hour and a half right now. And I noticed this the other night when I sprayed it on the tester, that the fragrance almost completely changes into a different form of fragrance, which is kind of interesting. So there is also iris in this fragrance from what it says on the sample card, but I don't really pick up much of an iris, only like a slight buttery nuance. But as you get into the dry down, it really just changes from that soapy citrus more into a vanilla woods with a slight touch of leather. That fragrance really just takes a complete turn into something that I was not expecting. And then that's where that almost vintage barbershoppy vibe goes out the window, and you have more of a modern vanillic woods with a little bit of a buttery undertone and some leather. There's a little bit of musk mixed in here, but the leather and the vanilla or tonka or whatever it might be, because it's powdery, I wouldn't be surprised if it was tonka, because tonka does come off like a powdery vanilla. This fragrance is really nice. You do get slight hints of the vanilla in the opening, but because of that soapy, sudsy citrus that's taking over the fragrance, you can't really notice it until, again, about 45 minutes to an hour. But the fragrance is really nice. I have to say, I am really shocked that I like this fragrance for how much of the things that are in it and the style of fragrance that it is. I'm really shocked that I like it. I love the dry down. I would say the dry down to this after the first hour or so for me is like an 8 to an 8.5. I think it's fantastic. The opening for me, even though I'm not a big vintage barbershoppy soapy suds style fragrance lover, I'd still say for that style it's an 8 as well. For me personally, probably a 7.5, but I still think it's really nice. It's one that you can wear in a lot of situations. It's very clean, it's very fresh, it's very easy to wear. You could wear it to work. People are just going to think that, and especially in the opening, that you just kind of like took a shower and had a real strong smelling soap. And then in the dry down, you're just going to smell like almost like a powdery vanilla woods with a touch of leather. And the leather isn't too prominent, like ombre leather or anything like that. Yeah, it's a very nice fragrance. There's not much else to say about that. I haven't given it a full wear to let you guys know the full projection. That is going to be for the full review when I go through, see what the notes are, but I already know there's definitely ginger in here. On the card, it says citrus, iris, and I think it said vanilla. Let me see. Citrus, iris, and powder with spiciness of ginger and patchouli. See, I don't get much patchouli in this, but there is bergamot. So yeah, the ginger is playing the major part in the beginning, and then that vanillic tonka or whatever in the dry down. Really, really nice. This fragrance, again, so for the first 5 hours that I have tried it out, the fragrance in the first hour is going to be more of an above average to moderate projector. And then when it gets to that vanilla quality, it does sit down a little bit more on your skin, but it's more of a personal bubble for the next 3 hours. Once I got to hour 4, it more became a skin scent, but it was still prominent where I could still smell it and say, okay, that's still on my skin. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was more of a 5 to 6 hour fragrance. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 6 to 7. But I would say safe bet 5 to 6 hours. And as far as what season would you wear this? Spring, summer, fall. I wouldn't say this is a cooler month fragrance, but with that said, you could wear it pretty much any time because it is a very easy wear fragrance. If you like vintage barbershop style fragrances, I mean, you can smell like soap any time of the year. And then that vanilla dry down is just really nice. But that's really all I have to say about it. The bottle looks really cool. I'm definitely going to be picking this up. News Parfums, I think, has it for about 55 bucks. Obviously, there's a $19 shipping charge, but that's still much less than you would find it on discounters in the United States if it comes on there. Because, again, this is a European exclusive. So, again, that is Habit Rouge Prive by Guerlain. I think they really did a great job with this style of fragrance. It's something different that you guys haven't smelled over the last, couple years from designer releases, even though this is in between designer and niche. But yeah, really good, really high quality, fresh, clean. It is what it is. Really, really nice dry down. So let me know if you guys have tried this, what you think about the line. If this is what the line has to bring, I might have to try more of them. But again, tomorrow I have a list that's coming out, my top 10 spring fragrances. So definitely look forward to that. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks so much. Peace out.